Man, I think we had a little bit of too many turnovers. They definitely slowed the pace down, and at the end of the day, we got to play what works for us. We got to keep our pace high. We got to play our defensive schemes, take care of business on the defensive end, get boards, and run. That's what we're good at. We have great people who are awesome in the open court, and so I just think we lacked pace tonight, honestly.
Kaylee, can you take me through that second quarter play with Stokes that made you upset, and then you hopped into the back?
That hurts. Like, the ref can't miss that, and then I have to play with a contusion in my leg the rest of the game. That's ridiculous. Can't miss calls like that.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today's story is one of the most talked about moments surrounding the Indiana Fever. So let's get right into it.as halftime approached. The atmosphere inside the arena was filled with tension. After one of the most intense quarters of the Indiana Fever's season, emotions were clearly running high as the players headed toward the locker room. While fans focused on the action that had just unfolded on the court, attention quickly shifted to what appeared to be a tense exchange near the team's bench. Cameras caught Caitlin Clark looking visibly frustrated as she walked toward the tunnel, while head coach Stephanie White followed closely behind, seemingly trying to communicate with her over the roar of the crowd. Although the broadcast couldn't capture what was actually being said, Clark's body language immediately became the center of attention. She turned back, gestured toward the court, shook her head, and appeared to respond with obvious frustration as several coaches nearby paused to watch the interaction unfold. Whether the exchange was about a missed call, a defensive breakdown, or a disagreement over strategy remains unclear, but one thing was impossible to ignore. This wasn't the reaction of a player who had stopped caring. It looked like the response of a fierce competitor who expects excellence from herself and everyone around her. Anyone who has followed Caitlin Clark throughout her basketball journey knows she has never been afraid to express her emotions. From her unforgettable college career at Iowa to becoming one of the biggest stars in the WNBA, she has built her reputation on passion, confidence, and an unwavering desire to win. She has always played with intensity, and that competitive fire is one of the biggest reasons fans admire her. What made this particular moment stand out wasn't simply the visible frustration. It was the bigger conversation it sparked about the Indiana Fever's direction, the team's leadership, and how one of the league's brightest young stars is adapting to the challenges of professional basketball. Caitlin Clark didn't enter the WNBA expecting to quietly blend into the background. She arrived with enormous expectations, a winning mentality, and the belief that she could help transform a franchise. Moments like these remind everyone that building a championship culture isn't always smooth. Sometimes it involves difficult conversations, emotional reactions, and high-pressure situations. For competitors at the highest level, those moments can ultimately become the foundation for future success. Caitlin Clark didn't spend 4 unforgettable years transforming college basketball just to arrive in the WNBA and become a passive observer. Fans pack arenas to watch her unique style of play, deep three-pointers, dazzling no-look passes, and lightning-fast breaks that can change a game in seconds. That's the brand of basketball that made her a household name. Yet since joining the Indiana Fever, there have been moments where it has seemed like she's been forced to play more cautiously, adapting to a system that doesn't always showcase her greatest strengths. The heart of the discussion is a contrast between two different basketball philosophies. On one side is a more traditional approach built around half-court execution, slower possessions, structured sets, and relying on experienced veterans to control the tempo. On the other is Clark's fast-paced, free-flowing style that thrives on speed, spacing, creativity, and quick decision-making. It's the style that made her one of the biggest stars in the sport, and many fans believe it's also the style that gives the Fever their highest ceiling. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Surprisingly, more than 83% of our viewers still haven't subscribed. It's completely free, only takes a second, and it helps the channel grow tremendously. Thanks so much for your support. Now, let's get back to the story. Speaking after the game, Clark reflected honestly on her performance. She acknowledged that she had several quality looks that simply didn't fall, while also admitting she forced a few difficult shots. At the same time, she felt that as the game went on, she finally began playing with greater pace and confidence, especially during the fourth quarter. She also hinted that she hopes her minutes continue to increase, suggesting she wants more opportunities to make an impact as the season progresses. Coach Stephanie White, meanwhile, has emphasized a disciplined and controlled style of basketball. Her focus has generally been on execution, limiting mistakes, and running structured offensive sets through experienced players. Clark, however, has built her career on pushing the pace, creating in transition, stretching defenses with deep shooting, and making instinctive plays that can completely change the rhythm of a game. Rather than being reckless, her style is built on calculated aggression and creativity, and many observers believe that's exactly what has made her such a special talent. Looking back, the visible frustration seen during that halftime moment may not have been about one single possession. Instead, it appeared to reflect weeks of growing tension over missed opportunities, offensive rhythm, and the team's overall identity. Whether it was mistimed cuts, slow defensive rotations, or possessions where Clark had limited involvement while other scoring options took difficult shots, the conversation extends beyond individual plays. For many fans, the bigger question is how the Indiana Fever can best balance structure with the dynamic style that made Caitlin Clark one of the most exciting players in basketball. To many fans watching the game, it felt as though Clark's greatest strength, her ability to read the floor several steps ahead, wasn't being fully utilized. Supporters have argued that the offense sometimes slows her down instead of allowing her instincts to take over. Whether or not that perception is entirely accurate, the momentum of the game appeared to shift dramatically after halftime. When the third quarter began, Clark returned to the floor with renewed energy and determination. It looked as though she had flipped a switch. In a matter of minutes, she caught fire from beyond the arc, knocking down 3 deep three-pointers in quick succession and transforming from the team's primary facilitator into its most dangerous scorer. The arena erupted with every basket, and the Fever suddenly began playing with a noticeably different rhythm. As Clark found her groove, the entire offense seemed to come alive. The ball moved more freely, teammates cut harder, screens became more purposeful, and the spacing improved. Natasha Howard appeared more involved within the flow of the offense, while Kelsey Mitchell helped ignite transition opportunities instead of forcing difficult shots. The Fever played one of their strongest stretches of basketball, putting together an explosive quarter that completely changed the feel of the game. For a while, they looked less like a team searching for consistency and more like a group capable of competing with anyone. After the final buzzer, attention quickly shifted to the post-game press conference. Coach Stephanie White praised the team's improved second-half performance and focused on the adjustments that helped spark the comeback, but she did not directly address the apparent sideline exchange that had become a major talking point among fans. Clark also kept her comments measured, emphasizing that building a winning team sometimes requires honest conversations and difficult discussions. Her message was simple: everyone in the organization shares the same goal of winning, and reaching that level demands accountability from every player and coach. For many observers, the larger takeaway extends beyond one emotional moment during a game. The conversation has become about the Indiana Fever's long-term identity. Clark is not only one of the team's leading scorers, she is also its primary playmaker, floor general, and one of the league's most creative passers. As the franchise continues to develop, many believe finding the right balance between structured basketball and the fast-paced style that has defined Clark's career will be one of the biggest factors in determining the team's future success. The WNBA is evolving, and with that evolution comes a new style of basketball. Today's game increasingly rewards speed, floor spacing, creativity, and the ability of star players to change the course of a game. Caitlin Clark has become one of the most recognizable faces of that movement, but every major shift in sports brings challenges. Many veteran players have spent years earning their place in the league, while some coaches continue to believe that structure, discipline, and carefully controlled execution are the surest path to success. At the same time, Clark's confidence and competitive fire have often sparked debate, with some praising her leadership and others questioning her approach. What makes this conversation so compelling is that it goes beyond one player or one game. Successful teams are rarely built through hesitation. They are built through clear direction, trust, and a willingness to maximize the strengths of their best players. That is why so many people are asking what kind of identity the Indiana Fever want to establish moving forward. Will they fully embrace the fast-paced, modern style that Clark naturally brings to the floor, or will they continue relying primarily on a more traditional system? The answer to that question could shape the franchise for years to come. One thing is difficult to ignore: Clark's impact extends far beyond the box score. Fans fill arenas to watch her play, her jerseys and merchandise remain in high demand, and national broadcasts consistently focus on her performances because of the excitement she generates. She has quickly become one of the league's biggest attractions, bringing new audiences and increased attention to women's basketball. Whether viewed as a rising superstar or the face of a new generation, her influence on the sport is undeniable. For many observers, the apparent halftime frustration represented more than an emotional reaction during a single game. It reflected the growing discussion about how young stars should be developed and how much freedom they should have to shape a team's identity. Throughout sports history, moments of visible emotion have often sparked larger conversations about leadership, accountability, and the direction of a franchise. In that sense, the spotlight quickly shifted from the exchange itself to the broader questions it raised. At its core, this debate mirrors a broader transition taking place across women's basketball. Many established coaching philosophies were built on discipline, repetition, and structured execution, approaches that helped teams succeed for years. At the same time, today's game increasingly rewards pace, spacing, versatility, and player creativity. Finding the right balance between those two philosophies may be one of the biggest challenges facing teams as the league continues to evolve. The Indiana Fever, like many organizations, now find themselves navigating that balance while building around one of the sport's brightest young stars. In earlier years, when the WNBA was still fighting for greater visibility and long-term stability, a more conservative style of basketball often made sense. Limiting mistakes, controlling possessions, and emphasizing disciplined execution were widely viewed as the safest path to winning. But today's league is operating in a different environment. The audience has grown, television coverage has expanded, and fans are increasingly drawn to players who can create unforgettable moments. They want fast-paced action, deep three-pointers, spectacular assists, and the kind of highlight plays that dominate social media within seconds. Above all, they want players who make them feel something every time they step onto the court. Caitlin Clark has become one of the biggest symbols of that evolution. She isn't a perfect player, and even her biggest supporters know she'll occasionally attempt difficult shots that don't always fall. But what separates her from many others is the constant pressure she places on opposing defenses. The moment she crosses half-court, defenders have to adjust. Her vision allows her to spot passing lanes before they fully develop. Her shooting range stretches defenses far beyond the three-point line, and her presence alone changes how opponents prepare for a game. That level of influence extends beyond her own team and has helped generate enormous interest in the league itself. That is why so much attention has been focused on the relationship between Clark's playing style and the Fever's offensive system. For many observers, the discussion isn't about disrespect or conflict, it's about finding the right fit. Supporters often argue that Clark is most effective when she can play with pace, creativity, and freedom, while others believe a more structured system provides greater consistency. The challenge for Indiana is finding the balance that allows both philosophies to work together. Throughout the season, fans have pointed to possessions where the offense appeared to slow down, the ball movement stalled, or Clark had fewer opportunities to initiate the attack. Whether those moments reflect strategy, normal in-game adjustments, or simple execution is open to interpretation, but they have fueled ongoing debate about how the team can maximize its offensive potential. The conversation also extends to the dynamics within the locker room. Every professional team features experienced veterans alongside rising stars, and finding the right balance of leadership and responsibility is rarely simple. Players such as Kelsey Mitchell have been important figures for the Fever for years and have earned significant roles within the organization. As the team continues building around a new franchise centerpiece, developing chemistry, defining responsibilities, and blending different playing styles will remain one of the most important challenges the coaching staff and players face together. Many analysts believe these situations are rarely personal. Instead, they often reflect the natural transition that occurs whenever a highly anticipated young star joins a team with established veterans. Professional sports have seen this dynamic play out countless times. Experienced players have earned their roles through years of hard work, while rising stars arrive with enormous expectations and the potential to reshape a franchise. Finding the right balance between those generations is one of the toughest challenges any organization can face. For the Indiana Fever, the central question is how to build around the future while continuing to value the experience already on the roster. Many fans believe Clark represents a long-term vision for the franchise, and they argue that maximizing her strengths should be a major priority. That doesn't necessarily mean abandoning structure or discipline. Instead, it means creating a system that allows her creativity, court vision, and pace to thrive while still maintaining the balance needed to compete consistently at the highest level. The organization's leadership also faces important long-term decisions. Clark has already become one of the most recognizable athletes in women's basketball, attracting enormous attention through her performances, endorsements, and growing fan base. As with any franchise player, building a competitive team and a positive environment around her will be an important part of the Fever's future. Supporters naturally want to see the organization develop a roster and playing style that complements its biggest star while keeping the entire team moving in the same direction. The apparent halftime exchange only intensified those conversations. Within hours, clips of the moment spread across social media, generating countless discussions, reaction videos, podcasts, and television debates. Because the audio was unavailable, people interpreted the interaction in very different ways. Some viewed it as a competitive player expressing frustration in the heat of the moment, while others saw it as an example of the high standards Clark expects from herself and those around her. Without knowing exactly what was said, much of the public discussion has centered on body language and speculation rather than confirmed facts. Regardless of which interpretation fans support, the incident highlighted just how much attention now surrounds Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. Every emotional moment, strategic adjustment, and post-game comment is analyzed from multiple angles because of the impact Clark has had on the league. As women's basketball continues to grow, conversations like these are likely to remain part of the spotlight that comes with being one of the sport's biggest stars. Regardless of how people interpreted the halftime moment, one thing was undeniable. It generated another wave of conversation around Caitlin Clark